I chose a church service from Times Square Church titled The King Who Shouts in Our Heart. So the pastor begins by talking about 1 John chapter 3 verses 19 and 20. It states, "This is how we know that we belong to the truth and how we set our hearts at rest in his presence. If our hearts condemn us, we know that God is greater than our hearts and he knows everything." In the service, he refers to the book of Numbers, specifically Numbers chapter 22, in which God speaks to Balaam, who is a gifted and eloquent prophet, and Balak, who was the king of Moab, feared the Israelites who were about to cross the Jordan River into the Promised Land. So Balak offered a fee to Balaam to curse Israel. He would try telling him that he'll give him gold, silver, and God spoke to Balaam and told him to not put a curse on these people. And in the next chapter, he receives a second message where Balak also tries to tell him, Balaam, to curse the people, and God tells him to not do that. And again, in chapter 24, we see that Balak tries to tell Balaam once again to curse these people, but God tells Balaam that he is going to bless them instead. By blessing the Israelites, God was faithful to the people even in their failure. Through their lineage was born Christ. Through their lineage of Christ, the cross was still a victory over all the powers of hell, darkness, and evil. And through the cross of Jesus Christ and his resurrection, by the power of God, the Church of Jesus Christ was born into earth, of which you and I are in. We see this in the prophecy that was given to Balaam from God, that ultimately you cannot curse what has been blessed. God rests in our hearts and fulfills promises. We are to make a difference in earth through his mercy, and that King who shouts victory in our hearts is God.